Have you ever looked at someone on dialysis and quietly thought, that could never happen to me? Because almost every patient who has sat across from me and heard the words, your kidneys are failing, once believed the exact same thing. And the frightening part is this: kidney damage rarely begins with pain. It begins with ordinary habits. A drink you consume every morning, a pill you take without thinking twice, foods sitting in your kitchen right now that slowly poison your body day after day while you feel absolutely nothing. I'm Dr. Vincent Hale, and after years of treating patients with advanced kidney disease, I can tell you something most people in America still do not understand. Your kidneys can lose nearly 80% of their function before your body finally starts screaming for help. By the time the swelling begins, the exhaustion hits, or the doctor says the word dialysis, the damage is often already permanent. That's what makes this so dangerous. Not because it happens fast, but because it happens silently. And tonight, I need you to pay very close attention, because one of the biggest things destroying kidneys in this country is something millions of people consume every single day, believing it's harmless. In fact, there's a very good chance you've already had it today. But what worries me even more is that the first warning signs are so subtle, most people ignore them until their life changes forever. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through the hidden habits that quietly destroy your kidneys, why they are far more dangerous after the age of 50, and most importantly, what you can start doing immediately to protect yourself before it's too late. Because once your kidneys begin to fail, your world becomes smaller in ways most people cannot imagine. And the next habit we're about to talk about may be one of the biggest reasons why. One of the most dangerous lies modern life has convinced people to believe is this: if I'm not in pain, I must be healthy. And that's exactly why so many people never see kidney damage coming. I once treated a 58-year-old man who told me, "Doctor, I thought sitting all day was harmless. I work, I come home, I watch TV. That's normal, right?" The frightening part was that he genuinely believed nothing was wrong because he wasn't sick enough to feel it yet. But inside his body, the damage had already begun. You see, your kidneys depend on healthy blood flow every second of the day. They are like millions of tiny filters constantly cleaning your blood, removing toxins, balancing fluids, keeping your body alive without asking for attention. But when you spend hours sitting at a desk, in a car, on a couch scrolling your phone, circulation begins to slow down. Over time, your body becomes more insulin resistant, blood pressure starts creeping higher, weight increases, inflammation rises, and your kidneys slowly become starved of the oxygen-rich blood they desperately need. And science is now confirming what doctors have quietly feared for years. Multiple studies have linked prolonged sedentary behavior to declining kidney function, especially in adults over 50. In other words, the danger is not just what you eat. Sometimes it's what you stop doing. Moving less may seem harmless today, but 10 years later, your body remembers every hour spent sitting still. That's why even small changes matter. A short walk after dinner, standing up every hour, stretching while watching television. These tiny habits can improve circulation and reduce the silent pressure building inside your kidneys. But simply knowing this is not enough, because the next poison is even more dangerous. And millions of people take it every single day, believing it's helping them. But what scares me even more than a sedentary lifestyle is something people trust every single day without fear: a small pill, a quick relief, something millions of Americans keep in their kitchen drawers, purses, or car compartments, believing it's completely harmless. I'm talking about painkillers like ibuprofen, naproxen, and diclofenac. And the tragedy is, many people damaging their kidneys with these medications have absolutely no idea it's happening. I remember a patient in his early 70s who looked genuinely shocked when I asked how often he took ibuprofen. He laughed and said, "Just a couple every day for my back pain. I've done that for years." To him, it felt normal, but his kidneys were telling a very different story. His lab results showed declining kidney function, and the scarring had likely been developing silently for a long time before symptoms ever appeared. Here's what most people never hear about these drugs. Your kidneys rely on tiny blood vessels staying open so oxygen and nutrients can continuously reach the filters that clean your blood. NSAID painkillers reduce certain chemicals called prostaglandins, which help keep those vessels open. Over time, frequent use can reduce blood flow to the kidneys, almost like slowly tightening a hose that feeds water to a garden. At first, nothing looks wrong, but year after year, the damage accumulates quietly in the background. And this is not rare. Research has linked long-term NSAID use to an increased risk of chronic kidney disease, especially in older adults, people with high blood pressure, or those with diabetes. That's why temporary relief can sometimes create permanent consequences. Now, this doesn't mean you should fear every painkiller. It means you should respect them. Talk to your doctor. Avoid taking them daily unless medically necessary. Look for safer, long-term solutions like physical therapy, stretching, hydration, or targeted treatment for the real cause of pain. But wait, the next two poisons are the ones I fear the most, because millions of Americans consume them every single day without realizing the damage. And the next one may already be hiding in the food you ate today. And that brings us to a poison almost nobody notices until the damage is already done. Because unlike cigarettes or alcohol, this one doesn't feel dangerous. In fact, most people consume it every single day without guilt, without fear, and without realizing it may be quietly destroying the tiny blood vessels inside their kidneys. I'm talking about hidden sodium, the massive amount of salt buried inside processed foods. One woman I treated told me, "But doctor, I barely even use salt." And she truly believed it. What she didn't realize was that her daily meals were filled with sodium long before she ever touched a salt shaker. Frozen dinners, canned soup, fast food, sandwich meat, store-bought sauces. Even the bread she ate every morning contained more sodium than her body could comfortably handle. Over the years, her blood pressure slowly climbed higher and higher until her kidneys began paying the price. Here's what makes this so dangerous. Your kidneys contain millions of delicate filtering units supplied by tiny blood vessels. When sodium levels stay high for years, your body holds on to extra fluid to dilute it. Blood pressure rises. The force inside those vessels increases day after day, almost like blasting a fragile coffee filter with a fire hose. Eventually, those tiny filters begin to scar, weaken, and fail. And the statistics are alarming. Studies continue to show that high sodium intake is strongly linked to hypertension, one of the leading causes of kidney failure in the United States. What's worse is that many processed foods marketed as quick or convenient are loaded with hidden sodium people never think to check. That's why one of the smartest things you can do for your kidneys is start reading labels. Cook more meals at home. Replace heavily processed foods with real ingredients whenever possible. And let me ask you something. Have you ever checked how much sodium is hiding in the foods you eat every day? Because once people finally see the numbers, it changes the way they look at food forever. But even salt is not the worst thing destroying your kidneys, because the final poison is the one I fear the most. And what makes it truly dangerous is that most people still think it's completely normal. And now we come to the poison that frightens me more than anything else on this list. Not because it works fast, but because it works quietly, addictively, and constantly. This is the poison I see behind the majority of kidney failure cases walking into hospitals across America every single year. And the most disturbing part is that people don't associate it with danger at all. They associate it with comfort, reward, celebration, even childhood. I'm talking about sugar and refined carbohydrates. A man once sat in my office after being told he would likely need dialysis within the next year. He looked exhausted, confused, almost numb. And the sentence he said to me is something I will never forget. "Doctor, I honestly thought I ate pretty normal." What he meant was cereal in the morning, soda with lunch, sweet coffee during work, takeout at night, snacks in between. Nothing extreme, nothing that felt dangerous. Just the standard routine millions of people follow every day. But inside his body, years of blood sugar spikes had already been damaging the tiny filters inside his kidneys long before he ever noticed symptoms. This is what makes sugar so destructive. It doesn't attack from one direction. It attacks everywhere at once. Excess sugar increases the risk of type 2 diabetes, and diabetes remains the #1 cause of kidney failure in the United States. Chronically high blood sugar damages the kidney's delicate filtering system, almost like microscopic shards of glass scraping those filters day after day. At the same time, sugar fuels inflammation, weight gain, fatty liver disease, high blood pressure, and metabolic dysfunction, all of which place even more stress on the kidneys. And what makes this crisis worse is how normalized it has become. Sugary drinks, desserts, ultra-processed snacks, white bread, flavored coffee, energy drinks, they are marketed as convenience and comfort while slowly pushing the body toward exhaustion from the inside out. Research continues to show strong links between excessive added sugar consumption, obesity, diabetes, and chronic kidney disease. In many cases, kidney failure doesn't begin in a hospital. It begins quietly in everyday routines people repeat for decades. That's why the goal is not perfection, it's awareness. Drinking more water instead of soda, choosing whole foods more often, reducing ultra-processed meals. Small decisions repeated consistently can completely change the future of your health. Because in the end, what you choose to eat every single day may decide whether your kidneys stay healthy or slowly fail in silence. The good news is this: kidney disease is not always a sudden tragedy. Very often, it is the result of small habits repeated for years. And that also means something powerful. Small, healthy choices, repeated consistently, can begin protecting your kidneys starting today. You do not need to change your entire life overnight. Sometimes the first step is as simple as drinking more water, walking a little more each day, cutting back on processed foods, or thinking twice before taking another unnecessary painkiller. Your body notices those choices, even when you don't feel it immediately. And if there is one thing I truly hope you take away from this video, it's that your kidneys work silently for you every minute of your life. They never ask for attention until they are overwhelmed. That's why prevention matters so much. Because once kidney damage becomes advanced, treatment becomes harder, life becomes smaller, and many people are left wishing they had known these things sooner. So please, do yourself and your family a favor. Save this video so you can come back to it later, especially if you want to start making healthier changes step by step. And subscribe to the channel for more trusted medical insights and simple health advice that can help you protect your kidneys, your heart, and your overall health as you get older. Every week we share information designed to help you stay healthier, stronger, and more informed before problems become emergencies. And before you leave, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these habits surprised you the most? Is there one change you want to start making today? Let me know in the comments because I read every single one. I'm Dr. Vincent Hale, and I want you to remember this. Your future health is not decided in one moment. It's shaped by the small choices you make every single day. And no matter your age, it is never too late to start taking care of the organs that have been taking care of you your entire life. Stay healthy, stay aware, and I'll see you in the next video.